The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.
Hello and welcome to a special edition of Video Games to the Max. I don't know if this one counts as a normal episode or not because we're not talking about anything but deciding the top 25 games of 2017. And we have an added person to the mix this year that was not on the pod last year. So this is going to be a bit more fun, and hopefully we have more debate and more things to discuss here. But joining me as always is Mr. Marc Morrison.
Howdy.
And making a special appearance, the man you hear all the time during the network tag, Mr. Daniel Anderson.
Hello.
You went a little low again there, Daniel.
That's not surprising. It knew it was going to do it.
And here is Mr. Wes Harrington.
Technical issues. I feel right at home.
Perhaps the king of technical issues.
Yeah, I mean, hey, E3's coming up in 6 months. Maybe I'll figure out what the hell I'm doing by then.
Yeah, we'll have Wes talking and not knowing that he's on mute for like half the E3.
Half the podcast. Yeah, sure. Nailed it.
But we are recording. I've done a couple of those where we've done half the show and I didn't know we weren't recording.
I have an amazing gif of me realizing I did that for one of the Backlog Busting Project episodes.
That's great. And sometimes where I forgot that I was on mute on Spreaker and didn't know either. That's not happening here, so that's good. But so this is going to be a little bit different than last year. We actually have a voted tier system that exists because the entire staff voted, and they had 15 games that they could put their names next to and try to rep for trying to put in the top 25 games of the year. So if you look in the description for this episode, that tiered list will be there the exact same way that we have it. However, just because those games are in certain tiers doesn't mean that that actually is going to be the way the final ranking looks. So, yeah, we have 44 games listed in total, and we got to narrow that down to 25, which is interesting with all the people that voted, how many games got put on there, and how many games, like, if, it wasn't us that... I think, first of all, I need to be clear about how this works with the site. We don't sit in an office and get to play everything like, a lot of the big sites do. A lot of the games that are on this list, somebody got to play them, but not everybody, so that's why this list is so varied. So, if you go by all the other places, I'm sure some of these that we have like on the 1s and 2s will probably be a lot higher, and they'll be able to tell you a heck of a lot more. But hey, this is what's cool, is you have so many different people that get to play a variety of things, or a small number of things, but can still actually say, okay, I'm still going to rank some games just because, I know they're great. But, alright guys, so the first thing we got to do here is I mentioned that we had 30 games between the 6 votes, which are only 2 games that are that high, and the 2 vote range, and we're only making 25, so we got to figure out the first 5 that are out of here. I don't know if you all have this thing pulled up or not, but
I think we all do.
Yeah,
I
I'm looking right at it. Yeah.
So
Yep. I'm trying to shed that whole fuck up image, so I actually made sure I loaded up the doc. So we're good.
So in that 2 vote range or whatever that's there, I don't remember exactly how many are in. I think there'd be 5 that are there that need to be out. So what games do you think that for sure you wouldn't put in a top 25 that are there?
Friday the 13th.
Yep.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, I wouldn't put Guardians of the Galaxy either.
Shadow of War.
I laugh because I had to hear Mark for like 2 podcasts talk about how much he did not enjoy that game. So, yeah.
And there's one I want to say that, PUBG. Really?
Yeah.
I think PUBG should be there, though.
That has to be on that was a super important game in 2017.
And technically it did release.
Technically
it did release now. So
yesterday.
Hey, it counts. It's still in 2017.
I mean, compared to other early access games, like it took 9 months. Like Rust is still in alpha, and it's been out for 4 years.
Yeah. The other one that I would throw out maybe is, because I don't know other than Wes maybe that's played it, is The Life is Strange.
I think Robert was kind of. I know somebody else in the staff chat was playing through I think they actually might have been playing through the original. Yeah, it's probably Robert
because he was the other big guy that was into it.
It didn't seem unnecessary.
That's what I thought too. And I mean, I've played episode 1. I want to get around to playing up the episodes 2 and 3 and Farewell when it comes out on stream, which is why I haven't been keeping up with it. What I played of episode 1 actually, almost felt as good as the original series at times, which is something I was not expecting to say. Now, given that we're top 25 here, I think it definitely deserves consideration as top 25. Do I think it's like top 10 or higher material? No, but top 25 definitely.
The only other game I would throw out is I enjoyed it. I have it on my Switch. I had some fun with it, but also because it does include older levels, I kind of tend not to think of Sonic Mania as really a new game, even though it does have, newer levels as well. I'm okay with throwing that out.
The thing with Mania is they did actually tweak some of those levels. Like, Chemical Plant is not just, Chemical Plant with a coat of paint thrown.
Right, there's new stuff in there.
Yeah. Like, for God's sake, the Robotnik battle in Chemical Plant is you playing Puyo Puyo against him, or Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Also, the thing about Sonic Mania, it's the first good Sonic game in 23 years.
God. And that's with Sonic Forces also coming out this year. So.
Well, we don't talk about Sonic Forces. This show will probably run longer than the gameplay in Sonic Forces, from what I've heard.
Ouch.
I mean, am I wrong? That's the one complaint I've heard about Sonic Forces. It constantly is, we paid how much for how little?
I would honestly, of this 2 vote thing, I'd probably kick out Pyre.
Really? I really enjoyed Pyre. I think it deserves to be...
I think the story is good, but I just don't think the gameplay is like that interesting, and it doesn't change up that much. And it can kind of get tedious after like the 20th match.
Wow, I could change a couple of the words you just uttered, and you'd have my opinion on a game that is much higher up on the tier list right now. But that's for later. That's a nice little teaser. Right?
Well, Mark did do the reviews, so I can't. It's hard for me to argue with him.
Like, it's a really great story. Like the writing, like Greg Simon's writing is spectacular. But I just like the gameplay is just kind of. It's okay. It's good, but. It just doesn't kind of hold up its end of the bargain after a while.
So in other words, it's a super giant game. That is the company name, right? Am I getting them confused with something else?
Yeah.
Well, I think Bastion held up like all the way through, and like Honestly, Transistor was the opposite problem, where the writing kind of sucked in that one, but the gameplay was good.
No, yeah, I can kind of see your point, because I've played both Bastion and Transistor. I haven't technically gotten around to Pyre yet, but, they hadn't really steered me 100% wrong yet. So, and a lot of people were talking about it when it came out, so I can kind of see why it would be on here, but I can also see why it's, on the bubble, so to speak.
Yeah.
Having not personally played it, though, I'm not going to, go screw you, get out, or screw you, or say, try to defend it being on there.
Well, we did need an extra game either way. So, Daniel, do you have an opinion either way on something here?
My whole thing about PlayerUnknown is, even though it did just release, it still has its bugs. It still has some issues with the gameplay. I mean, you only have the one map on the official server. You can go into the test server and play the other one, I think. But still, at this point, you can't play the second map unless you go into the test server. So is it really a top 25 game as it stands right now?
I mean, it is for a lot of people. I'm just saying, we would look really weird not.
I mean, it's not fun. It's just, I enjoy it when I play it. It's just, if I compare it to some of the other games, I feel like it's just, I mean, I don't know how to put it other than there's not a lot there for what you're paying for.
Yeah, but you're only almost paying $30 for it, not $60.
Now, that's true. That's why it's more of a debate on if it should be there or not. But
I think from what Mark brought up about the importance of it, also kind of ranks there as well. And we also got to think about that too, like how much people talked about it.
Well, I look at it as two different ways. One, it started a genre essentially that other games have stolen, copied, which is kind of grody. And just two, the impact of we're doing this at 12:30 at night, and 1.5 million people are playing that damn game right now, and that's a lot.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a fun game. I just don't know if, given what's there right now, if it would be a top 25 game at the end of next year, probably. But
then it won't count.
That's my take on it. But it did just release this year, so that's why I'm kind of on the bubble with it. It is the importance of the game, though, does lend to needing to put it onto a top 25 list for the year, though.
I mean, I'd sooner knock out some of the higher voted games than PUBG.
I mean, I can't speak to that myself, but yeah.
There's one other game I'm looking at on the 2-vote list that I'm kind of like, did people really think it was that good? And that's Injustice 2.
Yeah, it is. It's better than Tekken 7.
I'm not much of a fighting game fan, and I just didn't remember the first Injustice really turning any heads, so I was like, yeah.
I've not heard anyone say anything bad about Injustice 2 at all, and Mark talked about it quite a bit. He liked it. That's all I have to go off of.
They're putting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in that game. Top 10 of the year.
Game of the year.
Technically, it's not in there yet, so.
Game of the year, all years. We're done here.
Okay, so far, for sure, we have Shadow of War, Guardians, and Friday the 13th out. So it's between Life is Strange, Sonic Mania, and Pyre. I think those are the only games that people have brought up as saying no. So I
don't care about Little Nightmares. I know about the rest of you guys.
I'm big on Little Nightmares. I played it. I enjoy. Look, I know it's a lot like Inside, but it has its own special. I mean, if we're going to talk about this in a second, but if I can replace it with one of the games that I really enjoyed on the 1-vote list, I would, but you'd have to keep it there. So, I mean, that's my thing is I'd rather it be there than, I don't know, like a Life is Strange that came out that's the third episode just barely fits into this year, people probably haven't even gotten to that point yet. And when I look at those as the whole series. It's hard for me to put that in there, you know.
I can kind of see that. I haven't played Little Nightmares either, but I did give a little involuntary shudder when you compared it to Inside, which is by the
it has
company
the
that made
same
Limbo.
gameplay pretty much as Inside.
And Inside, from what I've heard, having not played Inside either, from what I've heard about that, is basically Limbo in color.
Yeah, it's made by the same people though.
So. Yeah, and Limbo still leaves a bad taste in my mouth. So,
I mean, I'm willing to take Little Nightmares out if you guys are.
Like I said, I haven't personally played it, so you guys are going off. I'm going off of what you guys are saying. I know both you and Steph both liked it.
Yeah,
a lot.
Stephanie loved it. She gave it a big score on the review. I agreed with it after playing it. I mean, it's not a long game either, so.
I'd probably just cut Pyre then.
All right, cut Pyre, and we got to cut one other. So Life is Strange and Pyre, or Little Nightmares and Pyre, or.
Well, if the debate's between Little Nightmares and Life is Strange, which one, since you played them both, which one do you think was a better game?
I haven't played Life is Strange to be able to say.
Yeah,
and like I said, the third episode just came out this week, so.
I don't think anyone here has played Life is Strange, so I'd probably actually cut that.
I've played episode 1. I have not gotten around to playing 2 or 3 yet because I've been wanting to play them on stream. But
I'd cut Life is Strange just because of like the crappy voice acting.
Hey! I've forgotten her name off the top of my head, but the actress they brought in to replace Ashley Birch because of the voice strike did a pretty good job. The fact that I can't remember her name is not a good sign.
Now the strike is over, so they can re-record her dialogue with the actual actress.
They could.
Well, I mean, Ashley is coming back to play Chloe, and that the basically, hey, here's Max and Chloe because that's what you actually kind of wanted. But I mean, I guess I'll just since I'm not going to fight it because I'm clearly outvoted here. But I actually enjoyed Life is Strange. I think it's good. I think it's at least an honorable mention, but I can also see where you guys are coming from. So,
all right. Well, I think we're gonna have even a bigger debate on because I think we have to do it just because there are games here that they're gonna be probably pretty high on many people's lists, and just because I know that some of these are. I know for sure Mark enjoyed plenty of these because he talked about at least 4 of them that are on here quite a bit. We have to do this just because, but there's quite a few games on this one vote list that means, just one person might have played it or it didn't, or, maybe you had to choose between one and the other and you picked another game to rep. Is there a game on the one, for me, there is one that would replace one of the games that maybe we had on the bubble. For me, I really love Night in the Woods. It has a terrific story. A story that talks about very serious stuff. I love the art design and almost everything in that game. I would put it in over Little Nightmares or Sonic Mania myself. And I know 5 of the games on here, Mark would probably want to switch out or something.
Yeah, the only game I'd probably switch out meaningfully, I love Shadowhand and everything and everybody's golf, but the big one is probably Puyo Tetris.
Why do I get the feeling there's going to be 4 different answers to this question? Because the one game I'm looking at on the one vote list is Evil Within 2.
I would be okay with that between the 2 games that we have left on the bubble. It's better than the first one, and that game was, on the
cusp. And
I'd probably cut out Steamroll Dig 2 then out of the 2 vote list.
I will not let you cut that out.
It's a good game, but so is Steamroll Dig 1. That's the thing.
But Steamroll Dig 2 takes that and just
makes it a Metroidvania.
Makes it even better. And Steamroll Dig 1 was really, really good. So I don't know. Okay, so we have one for Evil Within, one for Night in the Woods, one for Puyo Puyo. Daniel, do you have anything on here that you would switch
I
out?
mean, my one vote, I don't even see on the list. I had a couple of them, but honestly, I would, if from the ones listed, I would put Evil Within 2 up there. Just because I haven't gotten around to playing it yet, but everything I've heard about it and seen makes it look like something I really want to play.
Like,
I'd say take Evil Within 2 and put it in over Little Nightmares then. Is everybody okay with that, I guess, since I was the only one that...
Sure.
yeah, I mean, I'm in much the same position as Daniel on Evil Within 2, but like multiple people whose opinions I trust who were not impressed with Evil Within 1 took a chance on Evil Within 2 and went, holy shit. And honestly, I just realized something. There's another game that Bethesda published that came out this year that I actually don't see at all on here. Didn't Prey come out this year?
Prey is
it's not
up there. I forgot to put it on. That's my fault.
Also, like, that Prey is good, but it has some real funky technical problems.
Yeah, it had a lot of technical problems that people found like after the fact.
Like, my playthrough of Prey was kind of ruined by the game crashing or the game bugs.
Oh, I forgot to
Okay.
put it there. He did have Prey as one of the games on there.
Yeah.
That's his number one, and Daniel had Farpoint, which I forgot. So we had way more than we had like 46 or 47 probably at the end, but Mark's the only one I think aside from it might be Steph that might have played Prey that could.
No, I get it. It kind of snuck in under the radar. Not a lot of people were excited for it, because of. Go ahead. Sorry.
I actually was excited, and then it came out, and like for the first 20 hours it was great, and then for like the last 3 it sucked because one of the story characters became hostile according to the game, and she was just sitting there.
Oops. So yeah, sounds like a Bethesda game, all right, even though it was developed by Arcane.
Yeah, that too. I mean, they didn't fare too well with the Outsiders DLC that they just put out there, but
yeah, I don't know what the hell happened to Dishonored, but that's a whole nother show.
All right. So I really want to put Night in the Woods in there.
Top 26. Let's fucking do this.
I just don't have a thing. Like, 2 of the people that voted for Sonic Mania are people that just joined the staff like a week ago. So
yeah, we don't have to have Sonic Mania on there. I mean, just because none of us have played it, and I'm like,
yeah.
I will.
Well, I'm
when
the
I
only
can.
one, and I just don't think it's like that great. It's a great like nostalgia throwback, and cool that some of these levels got things added to them. It was cool to go through Chemical Plant and go through areas I hadn't been through because they weren't there before, but it wasn't something that I was like, okay, oh my god, I'm playing this for hours and hours.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, if you want to take it off, go ahead.
Okay. So, anything else y'all want to pound the table for in one of those 2 before we move on then?
I mean, not really. A lot of these, again, are just kind of like honorable mentions or, like stuff that, yeah, was good, but, you got to cut something. About the only one, like, there are a few on here that I'm like, okay. Like, I've never even heard of Seasons After Fall. What the hell is that?
It's like, Stephanie reviewed it, so that's why it was there. She had voted for it. It's kind of like a more indie version of Ori and the Blind Forest. So,
and Ori was already pretty damn indie.
Yeah, with a fox instead of... Yeah, but they don't have like the Microsoft,
Yeah, it's like a slightly more cartoony look. Like even
Yeah.
more so.
Hmm.
Like storybook, I would say. Look.
Right, exactly, yeah. All right, so I think we can. Well, now we got to figure out the. Let's just do the ranking from here into where we get to the 3-vote games. So where are we putting? Well, first of all, I probably should have done this already of counting how many this is that we got to put in there. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 8 games, if I'm counting correctly, with the 2 that got added from the 1 vote. So we got to do 25 to 17 with those.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, unless y'all
Sounds-
want to just figure this all out and then do the finalists at the end. Do y'all want to do it step by step, or do you want to do it all at the end? Try to figure out the rankings.
I mean, let's do it step by step.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, what's 25 going to be?
Uh,
I imagine
Alright.
Evil Within 2 because none of us have played it.
yeah, I would just put Evil Within 2 at the 25 because we're vouching for it just off of
Word of mouth.
word of mouth.
Yeah.
I feel like some of these other games are way. You can put. I'd say Steam World Dig 2 could be at 24.
Sure.
Night in the Woods at 23. What do you?
Okay.
For me, I feel like Divinity Original Sin needs to be the highest of whatever.
I'm looking at that and kind of going, hello.
The problem with Divinity is I think no one else in the staff has a PC that can handle it well, except for
other
like
than
me
you
and
and
one other
Daniel,
person.
so
Yeah,
my computer might be able to handle it. It did pretty okay on Wolfenstein.
Like between this list, I'd put like Divinity in like top 10, honestly.
Yeah, I would too. Trying to be objective, but
that was the PC game of the year, honestly. Like aside from like PUBG, which I'd put like PUBG in like the middle, like mid 15 or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, we might want to take those 2 out and set them to the side and revisit it as we get higher in the list or higher in the rankings.
Yeah, there's a few coming up in the higher tiers where I'm like, okay, clearly I missed something.
I'm trying to figure out if Cuphead also fits that description because I really enjoyed it, but I stopped playing it because I didn't want to keep banging my head against the wall.
Yeah, like I think Cuphead like gets by in its art style, but like if you haven't finished it and most people haven't, or if the gameplay is just too
How far are you on it, Daniel? Did you get pretty far? Or?
Not really. I've played it enough to know that it's something that I'll enjoy, but until I have plenty of time to just sit and play it, I didn't keep trying to advance. But
yeah,
I mean,
like it looks great, but that doesn't hold up its end of the bargain that well against gameplay that's just repetitive or like completely hard, like that you can't finish it.
Like I don't, for example, the Dark Souls series, I don't count anything off on it for being hard because I know that going into it that it's going to be a challenge, and I mean that I'm fine with that, but I don't think we should take. I mean, I would put it probably around 21, just because the art style is the main attraction of it. I remember when it was first announced, nobody really talked about the gameplay. It was all, oh, I love the art style. The art's
that's
great.
all they showed us was the art style for the longest time.
They showed the art style and like a couple of the bosses, and then that was it. And then people started piecing together, oh my goodness, it's going to be, it might just be a boss gauntlet. And then Microsoft realized they had buzz and forced them to put the running gun levels in, which
I do. Those running gun levels are actually a really nice refresher to the boss battles. It actually makes you be able to see the world more than just with the boss battles. So the thing that I think is weird is the ghost stuff, like where you're having to jump and attack the ghost. That's the kind of thing that was kind of like, what? Why? All right, whatever. I think PUBG probably needs to be higher out of the importance level.
I mean, the two games that we still have are Mario XCOM and Injustice 2.
Mario XCOM for me is because of that works. It's really good. I can actually see. I wouldn't play XCOM by itself, but with the Mario, and I didn't care for the Rabbids at all, except for they work in this game. They actually work. The personalities work out too. They're funny. I would put that at 20, and you could put Injustice 2 at 22. Personally, if you feel like Injustice 2 is better, Mark, then I guess we.
Well,
can
I would
wait.
put. I mean, this is going to break the ranking, but I would put Tekken 7 at 22.
Yeah, I'd put Injustice over Tekken.
I feel like Tekken's a better game than Mario XCOM.
So I guess Mario then at 22, Mario XCOM at 22, and Tekken 20, and Injustice up like one or two more spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unless, yeah, go ahead, I guess.
All right. Yep. I don't have a dog in this race, so I'm just kind of like.
Well, if we're moving Divinity, PUBG, and was there another game we were moving around? Is it just PUBG and Divinity Injustice 2? Then we gotta find games to put there then.
Yeah.
Well, we did say we'd put Tekken down there, so.
Yeah.
I don't give a fly. Sorry, but again, the only reason that Tom Clancy is that high is because two of the people that voted for it are two of the people that joined last week, and I have no frame of reference for that game either. So
I played it and enjoyed it, and I like where they're. Now, I played it after some of the tech issues got worked out, so I didn't experience them. And that's why it was higher for me than it might be for other people.
Yeah, the game came out. It came out clearly half-baked from what I've seen and heard. And then they basically pulled a division on it again, and they've been patching it up to a point where it's actually maybe kind of okay if you look at it.
Yeah, it's also gotten the Rainbow Six Siege where it's still selling like hotcakes.
Yeah, because they keep adding shit into it too.
Yeah.
But it's kind of an interesting trend.
But I wouldn't call it important or whatever. Does it really do anything that you go, oh my god, everybody needs to play this game?
Well, we're going to have Predator. But, I mean, it's a good third-person shooter. I enjoyed it, and
I mean, I'm fine with Golf Story's there. You can put Golf Story down here.
Yeah, that was one of the ones I'm looking at.
I really enjoyed that game.
That many points.
Yeah, I'd put it at 19. I'd put Uncharted Lost Legacy 18 or 19 also. I didn't play it, but I mean, it seemed like a decent Uncharted game, but it seemed pretty unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it for what it was, but it wasn't I mean, I put it on my list, but I anticipated putting it going further down on my list.
Yeah. I'm probably one of the biggest Uncharted fans on this show right now. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised it got as many votes as it did, and I'm one of them. But honestly,
it's something that people picked up because of the love for the Uncharted series and played it.
Yeah.
So that's why it got in there.
Yeah, and they very clearly know what they're doing over there. We'll put it that way, and completely unrelated. But
Uncharted and then Injustice.
Yeah, I can live with that.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then Tom Clancy?
Yeah, you fine with that, Daniel? 16, Tom Clancy?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, like I said, I didn't experience the issues that people had with it. I don't mind if it went underneath Uncharted, just due to the issues that there were. The whole reason I put it on there was when I played it, there weren't as many issues. It was very enjoyable, and I had fun with it. So that's why I put it on there.
All right, so 16 Ghost Recon then.
Sure.
Mark, since you're the one writing the thing in. So this is where we have to get into. I know Stephanie really enjoys the Dark Souls and all that, so Neo was right up her alley. I know you've been playing it some. Mark.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the first good Dark Souls game.
Woo!
Hot take.
Rackham. Oh wait, sorry. That's an old reference. Hello.
Both you and I loved Yakuza, so I would say it. Maybe I'd be fine if it goes there. It could also go a little higher.
I would take Yakuza over everything else in this 3-vote list.
I really enjoyed Resident Evil 7, but my take on it's a little bit skewed because I only played it with the PSVR, and that is, I enjoyed the previous some of the classic Resident Evil games, but I was never a huge fan of them. But I loved Resident Evil 7 with the VR.
That's what I've heard, is that if you have PSVR and you have Resident Evil 7, you need to be playing it in VR.
But also you got the problem with that last third of that game is a problem, isn't it?
I was fine with it.
It doesn't play the same as the other 2/3.
I mean, I was fine with it. I thought it was a nice change. I mean, the whole beginning of the game was just it's like in a horror movie. It's the build up. You know something's coming. You're waiting for it. You're waiting for it to happen, and then it finally does. I mean, I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it. But again, if you didn't have the PSVR, it'd be a little bit different.
Is South Park really that good of a game? That's my question.
I enjoy it.
My response would be, is Wolfenstein 2 really that good of a game?
I will fight you for that.
I would say South Park is a good game, but it's riding off the coattails of the last one.
Well, but see, to counter that a little bit, they could have kept the same fighting system or the same battle system, changed the story around, and people would not have had a major issue with it. But they altered it. They added in positioning on it, where you're having to move the characters around. So it's not the typical sequel where nothing changed, but it's a new story. They actually did change some things and one of the major issues that people said was a problem with the last game.
Yeah. This is kind of I've seen people who disliked or, weren't quite as warm on the Stick of Truth as the majority of the internet seemed to be, that absolutely loved the Fractured But Whole.
I've also seen the opposite, that love Stick of Truth, but don't think that this one holds up to that one. It's weird. It doesn't seem to be universally. I'm also not, I know why Assassin's Creed is that as high as it is, but I don't know that it's like in that tier of like 1 and 2 or whatever.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, that needs to get knocked down a few pegs.
Yeah, it's definitely not 1 or 2, but I would definitely say it should be in the top 10.
Like
I would
10?
agree there. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really enjoyed an Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag, but Origins was very good.
Except for the story and the combat.
Well, I didn't have much of an issue with the combat. The story, I just enjoyed it being in ancient Egypt.
Like, the setting is interesting, but they just do nothing with it, honestly.
Now, I will agree with that. I mean, there's
a few cool
I feel like there was a lot more they could have done, but it's at least definitely a massive improvement over the direction the franchise was headed.
I mean, you say that, but Syndicate was a good game.
Yeah, but Syndicate also had kind of an uphill fight in the court of public opinion after Unity. I mean, again, no dog in this fight. I haven't played a Assassin's Creed at all. Still need to get around to fixing that.
I'm in the same boat as you, except for Black Flag. So
I actually, when Ubisoft, speaking of which, I should probably go redeem my copy of Watch Dogs, but they also gave away Black Flag earlier this month.
Yeah,
I actually redeemed that, so maybe I'll take a look at it. But
I mean, between the two of Syndicate and Origins, I think Syndicate's a better game because it has a story.
Yeah, I mean,
and characters.
That's again kind of.
I know you didn't like it, Mark, but I've seen a lot of people that really enjoy the change to the combat, though.
Yeah, but those people are high in dust.
Woo! Inside baseball. Hello.
Like,
too bad, man. This is one of those that
good.
If Robert was here, him and Mark would be arguing for about an hour. So.
Like,
yeah.
Origins combat is good, like 1-on-1, but you're in situations a lot where it's 1-on-5, and then it just falls apart because, like, the character's not responsive enough, and you don't have enough abilities or, like, just combat moves to deal with like multiple enemies.
So you're saying it's a poor man's Batman?
Yeah. Well, at least in previous games, you had a counter move. They took the counter away.
That's kind of weird, considering if you're fighting that many people at once, you kind of need the counter move.
You have like a really weird parry, but that's about it.
Okay, so we have to figure out something here, because there's some of these games that we know are going to be in that top tier that are not moving. So some of these that we just talked about have to go in this section.
Kind of middle tier that we're in right now. Yeah.
I mean, if I put Neo at 15, that's fine.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
And then put...
I would put like Resident Evil 7 at 14. Or Xenoblade.
I will fight you to the death. I'm the only one that's going to fight here for that. But
I'm sorry, but if this were the Backlog Busting Project, I'm pretty sure the subtitle for this episode would now be "I will fight you," or "Sean will fight you."
I will fight for Xenoblade a heck of a lot more than I will for Wolfenstein, but I'm the only one fighting, so you know.
Well, again, I try to be honest when I'm talking about my opinion on things. I don't have a Switch, so I can't play Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
I mean, it's not perfect, but it has things where, and I'm 35 hours in on the first one right now.
Like,
and I'm
Xenoblade
still enjoying
Chronicles
the second
2 is
one.
right up my damn alley, and I'm like,
oh, it is.
Really wish
it has
I
mechanics.
really wish I had
that
the money for a Switch so I could play this fucking game right now, but no, you know.
It has mechanics that are bad. Like the gacha system to get the blades shouldn't be in there, which makes the game harder than it should be. Which is an issue when you get to later in the game and you have to have like high field skills or whatever. But the music is some of the best in the entire that came out this year. The game is the battle system is really, really good. It gets complicated, but it's really, really good. And I love the story. But again, I'm the only one fighting, so if
I really wish what I'm trying to say is I really wish I could fight with you. I've heard a lot of great things about Xenoblade. With one of the only I have heard the gacha system complaint too, but it's like I don't want to jump in and say something and have to retract later when I play and realize I don't actually agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, looking at what we have left from the 3-vote range, it's Xenoblade and Yakuza, and we're sitting at number 14 right now.
It's Resident Evil, Yakuza, and Xenoblade.
Okay,
because the rest, and South Park, I would put South Park in this range too. I don't think it's next to these other games that are left, I would also say it could go here too.
I would put, just me personally, I would put South Park around number 10.
That seems
Because
fair.
I thought we were putting Assassin's Creed
did
at 10 already.
really enjoy it. And I think it should be in the top 10 because, you look at Stick of Truth and it was getting Game of the Year talk, but the thing that most people complained about was the simplicity of the battle system, and Fracture did
I'm not
change
getting that. I'm not hearing that talk at all from Fracture But Whole, though.
Right, well, they changed it up. The battle system
I've
was
only
changed.
played the demo, so I can't comment on. I didn't like the change from the turn-based to the more strategy game battle system, but again, I've only played like the 2 hours that are in that demo, so I can't really comment on if it gets better, the more abilities you get or whatever, but
it's something else that you have to keep track of that makes it not just the simple battle system. You have to take a few more things into account with it, whereas before it didn't really matter what you were doing.
So let's be realistic here. I know that PUBG has that importance factor, but are we putting it in the top 10 as well, or
no? I can put that like 14. Like that's fine, honestly.
Well, I would put PUB over Resident Evil 7.
Okay.
From an importance factor. Resident Evil 7 was good, but the people that don't have a VR, if you're not playing with a VR headset, it's not going to be as good as if you did.
I haven't played Resident Evil 7. I played the demo. It was a neat reinvention for the series. I don't think I'd like it personally because straight horror games just don't do nothing for me. But I'll give Capcom props for fixing that series after Resident Evil 6.
Yeah, see, Randy did the review. I remember him and I talking about it. He really enjoyed it, but he did have the problem with how it changes at the latter half because he didn't have VR. It does become different when you're not in that experience and you're just playing it the same way and you kind of just want it to end. So
yeah,
So RE7 at 14.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
All right. And PUBG at 13.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stop fighting for Xenoblade. At 12 is cool.
And then that would leave Yakuza before we start really getting into the shit.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
Do you love Yakuza more than Assassin's Creed, Mark?
Oh, hell yes.
That's two of us have played that, and that's one of my favorite games that I've played this year. Is Yakuza. Just,
my problem
it's a
is
huge
I haven't
game.
played it, so I can't compare it.
It's the first Yakuza game that I've played. First off, that I've been interested in, and then it did everything, ticked off all the boxes. So much so that Kiwami, the rebooted first one, sucked because compared to it.
Yeah.
Well, let's also look at the other games that we have sitting up there too. And is there anything that you think should fall outside of the top 10?
For me, the only two that would do that would be Hellblade and South Park.
See, I'm more happy putting Hellblade at 11.
I'm not, because that game is
barely
there's so much stuff going on from just not just what it talks about, the atmosphere in that game, what she goes through in that game, the story in the game. Yeah, the battle system's actually also pretty decent for the little bit of fighting that you do.
Isn't it only 3 hours long?
It's 5 or 6 hours, but it's a experience that's very special, and just you feel all the whole problems with the mental issues, and you're hearing the voices while you're playing, and it's something that it's special. It's special. to me. I mean, there's a reason it costs $30, and it's worth every penny of that $30. I don't know. I haven't been like I haven't heard people being totally in love with Stick of Truth. That has not been the same feeling with Fractured But Whole for me. That's just the only thing. But I haven't played it, so that's the only leg I have to stand on. That the press is not as high on that. I mean, if we got to put Hellblade there, it's fine. If we're gonna stamp on that, South Park's got to be in the top 10. But I just hate it because like they did something different, and it deserves to be recognized for it. But
Someone buy me South Park and I'll play it real quick.
And is it discounted on the winter sale?
Yep, $30.
And
oh, finally, it's been like 41 for every time else they've had it on the sale.
And I'm pretty sure that it's still buy Fractured But Whole and get the Stick of Truth free if you don't already own the Stick of Truth on PC.
So are we really debating two spots here? Is that what we're debating?
Well,
one of the others going to go in that spot.
From what I'm understanding, there's 3 games we're talking about for 2 spots here. It's Assassin's Creed, Hellblade, and South Park, correct?
I mean,
and Assassin's Creed, Hellblade, and South Park, and Yakuza.
Oh, whoops, yeah. Sorry, I forgot about Yakuza.
Well, I mean, personally, I haven't played Persona 5 or Nier, so I can't.
They deserve to be.
Those are not moving.
Those are not questions.
Those are called number 1 and number 2.
I don't know about number 1 and number 2, but definitely Persona should be in the top 5.
Yep.
And you could make that case for Nier as well. Mark's played both of them. I've only played Persona. I've also had to basically read and edit so much of the Nier review that I feel like I played it. Sorry, Stephanie. But hey, sometimes we have our off days when writing things. I know I've written some shitty stuff before, but anyway, fine. Put Hellblade at 11.
I was gonna say I would probably go. From what I've heard, I would go. Oh crap! I would probably go Yakuza, Hellblade, Assassins, South Park from 11 to whatever that would end up being 11, 10, 9, 8.
That sounds fine with me.
So what was it?
It was. Let's see if I can do this again off the top of my head. I'd probably go Yakuza, Hellblade, Assassins, South Park. I think it's the order I say.
Yeah.
I would move Yakuza above all 3 of those other games.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
okay,
that works too.
If I put Hellblade at 11 and we put South Park at 10, can we have Assassins at 9 and Yakuza at 8? Is that okay?
Yeah, that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're past this block.
Yeah.
I think the rest of it now is going to be an argument about
Well,
where all this goes.
I'd say put Divinity at 7.
Yeah,
I forgot about Divinity.
Yeah, I'd probably put it higher, but I also haven't played Zelda or Mario, so I can't comment on those.
Yeah, Divinity at 7, I think is for what y'all were talking about. Okay, so here we go with this. It's Nier, Persona, Horizon Zero Dawn, Super Mario, Zelda, and
Wolfenstein.
Which I think
should
Wolfenstein
be
6.
Yeah. And honestly, I would personally say, even though I have not played Divinity Original Sin 2, I would say Wolfenstein 7, Divinity 6. Because, I'm sorry, I forgot.
You know what? I'm fine with that, too.
Yeah.
If you want to switch those.
Because I forget who it was and what game it was earlier, but they had an entire thing where they basically said the storyline was good, but the actual gameplay was lacking. And then it was Pyre.
Yeah.
Somebody was talking about Pyre having
That
a
was
good
Mark,
story,
yeah.
but middling gameplay. That is exactly how I feel about Wolfenstein 2. And if you go read my published review on W2Mnet.com, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, cheap DX style plug.
Yeah. Thank you for the plug
That's
there.
basically what I said. Is the storyline and the characterization is amazing, but the gameplay is like bog standard first-person shooter with a side of antiquated health system. And I'm just like, God, you know, I love the storyline. I want to hear more, but I have to wade through all this gameplay bullshit. You know?
How about Horizon Zero Dawn at 5?
I would say Nier at 5.
Yeah, I'd put Horizon further up than 5.
Yeah, Nier, from everything I've seen, is an amazing game, and I have one of its soundtrack songs stuck in my head constantly. But I think Nier would probably be the low man on the totem pole for what we have left.
I think Horizon was a victim of coming out so early in the year. People have forgotten just how good it was.
Well, you did
Horizon
have
was
the
a victim
Frozen
of Zelda.
Wilds DLC.
No, Horizon was a victim of Zelda coming out like a week after.
That's also true.
And an entire system as well.
Yeah.
Like as far as gameplay, I actually think Nier does it better. The story in Nier is miles above Horizon. I mean, yeah. It's a smaller in scope game than Horizon, because Horizon's map is huge. Not Assassin's Creed Origins huge, but big enough. But I just think Nier is like a more focused game. That stuck with me longer.
Right. Also because it's so out there.
Well, yeah, but that's Yoko Taro for you.
Yeah.
I can't wait for his Final Fantasy game.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
If that happens, sign me up. I
I mean,
don't know. I
tolerate
just
Nier
feel
being
like
5.
I've really enjoyed it. I still haven't played Nier, so I can't. Like I said, I had to read and do enough that I'd be fine with it. But I've really enjoyed Horizon. I like Aloy as a character. I don't know that the world is like totally engrossing or whatever, but I don't know.
I mean, we can have Nier at 5. That's fine. But I'd say Horizon is the next one.
Y'all got a problem with that, or?
No.
No. And then
I would say I'd say Mario at 3.
Mm-hmm.
I love that game. That's my number 1 game of the year, but I feel like for what Persona does with its style, and then just it's also for me like it's the first Persona I got into, and I felt like it's a lot more accessible than the other ones. Yet very fun and enjoyable, and I don't know. I'm not a big Zelda person, so I can't vouch for that game like so many other people can.
The thing about Zelda, it seems like it's a massive reinvention for the series. But some of the nuts and bolts stuff of that game just seem kind of screwed up.
It's also like you can just explore that world, which is amazing too. Like it doesn't really tell you what to do.
I mean more like combat, like having to throw away swords constantly and having to pick up new weapons, like every battle essentially. Like you have no durability with weapons.
But there's so many weapons, so they get dropped all the time. So it's like you're never really running out either. It's not like some other games where, oh my god, my weapon disintegrated and now I don't have anything. But
Fuck you, Dark Cloud. Wait, sorry, my bad.
honestly, for me, I would put Mario ahead of Zelda's because I enjoyed that game more. But there's a lot of people that enjoyed Zelda a heck of a lot more than anything. So,
Well, I mean, clearly Nintendo had a pretty good freaking year because here we are, top 3, and 2 of them are Nintendo Switch games.
Well, don't forget, Zelda also came out on the Wii U.
well, does anybody even? I mean, we've also got several Switch games. Xenoblade and Mario & Rabbids is on here too, and Golf Story. So, Switch is very well represented. SteamWorld Dig 2 is also on there.
I'm a little tired because you said Xenoblade, and for a second I was like, wait, Hellblade came out on the Switch? I was like, wait, what?
I wish it came out on the Switch.
Wrong blade.
Yeah, wrong blade. I don't know. Where do you guys land that have also not played these 3 games? So.
Well, I've played
one of
them.
Well, I know Mark has. I'm talking about like Daniel and Wes.
I've played Persona 5.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you did or not.
Yeah. In fact, I've played Persona 5 and on my PS3, and I liked it so much, I will probably buy it and play through it again when I eventually get a PlayStation 4 of my own, instead of having to occasionally borrow Randy's. And I'm going to have to get on that soon because, by God, Last of Us Part 2. Anyway.
That's not coming out until like 2019.
Shut up. I've had to dream, damn it. But Persona 5 is, I mean, and this is coming from somebody who's also played Persona 3, Persona 4, and started kind of dipping into like Persona 2 and 1 after realizing he kind of enjoyed the series. Persona 5 is a gateway drug, basically. It takes the systems they built in 3 and 4, it refines them to a really sharp edge, and then it packages the entire thing in HD graphics and a style that basically oozes out of every pore of the game. The amount of times I've gotten fucking Last Surprise stuck in my head is up there with Birth of a God or Birth of a Wish Become as Gods from Nier Automata. But yeah, it's a game that you do not forget very quickly just because of the sheer style it exudes. And, while I understand that Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are both also amazing games in their own right, I personally could make an argument for number 1, but I'm happy with it being number 2. And to me, Odyssey and Breath of the Wild are kind of interchangeable in the 1 and 3 spots, if that makes any sense.
It does. I've played Odyssey and Zelda and haven't played Persona. But it is very hard to choose between those two, which one should be higher. It really comes down to, do you enjoy Mario more or do you enjoy Zelda more?
Well, where are you at with that? Because I already said I enjoyed Mario more.
I would probably give the nod to Zelda just because of it feels more of a departure from the series, what's come previously, than Mario does. Because while I'm not complaining about Mario at all, except for the hat, I don't feel like the hat gives enough of a change to make it feel as much of a departure as Zelda was.
The hat lets you navigate levels differently. It doesn't, but I agree with you. It's not like, oh, he's still jumping around. He's still, trying to find coins. And the 2D stuff is actually kind of what also makes it cool, is being able to do that in the middle of a level. I'm fine with that, I guess. So what are we... I've played all 3. For me, it's Mario above the other 2, but I'd say I enjoyed Persona more than Zelda. I know you guys are both on the Persona train because you haven't played the other two, and Daniel's on the Zelda, so we're at the gridlock here.
I mean, part of me, simply to be, a little bit different, wants to give the nod to Persona 5 simply because let's be honest here, everybody on this panel knows pretty much every other gaming site in existence has given it to either Mario or Zelda. With a few outliers, like I saw one community vote.
It's Zelda is like a wide margin, and then like there's a lot of closeness between like Horizon, Mario, and some other games.
I've seen a lot of Zelda. I've seen a lot of Mario. I've seen a couple instances of Horizon Zero Dawn. So a part of me wants to say Persona 5 simply to be different, Because
I know,
at this point we're talking like minor, like a minor difference in opinion. It's like.
Actually, so right now it's, as of the last check that I've seen, it's Zelda 55, Horizon and Mario both at 8, Persona and Nier at 4, and then PUBG is 3, and then there's a bunch of other stuff.
I would say the only problem with Persona 5 just as a game is Ryuji sucks as a character. Aside from that, the game is like perfect.
And the dub has its problems in places with the characters just saying names completely wrong. But
I didn't actually mind that. Like, I'm not that anal about that stuff, or anal.
It bothers me, but the game is so good that I didn't. I just got over it.
You can get on the Japanese track.
I don't want to have to read the subtitles because I can't. I always put subtitles on, but I have the subtitles on just in case I don't catch something. I don't want to have to read the subtitles because I don't understand the words that are coming out of people's mouths.
God damn it. Every time I hear that specific phrase, I just think Rush Hour immediately.
I know.
God damn it.
Oh, I love Jackie Chan. Anyway, so sorry, Chris.
Man, nobody understands the words that are coming out of your mouth. Sorry.
I know what you're saying, Wes, but I also don't feel like it's like, oh, well, we should not give it to Zelda because we want to be that place that doesn't. You know what I'm saying? If we're going to feel like we're giving it to Persona, it's...
Yeah,
I mean, I guess we could also do a majority and it'd just be 2 against 1-1 also, I guess. So, if we want to do that, and just so it's not... We're just going back and forth here.
Yeah. I mean... I'd be happy with pretty much any configuration of the 3, but I do think Persona needs to be either 2 or... I'll just go ahead and say it. I would not be happy if Persona 5 were number 3.
I agree with you. I think the Nintendo games should be 1 and 3 and Persona's 2. For me.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
I don't know. Mark's the only one.
I guess.
That. So, do you have a problem with that, Mark?
I guess it's fine. Like, Persona 5 is the only game I replayed multiple times this year. Like, I don't think I'd do that with Mario or Zelda.
Well, Mario and Zelda are also kind of. I was about to say larger games when the other game in question is a fucking JRPG. What is wrong with me tonight?
Yeah, if anything, Persona 5 is a longer game than either of those two games.
Yeah, Zelda's the only thing that rivals it in length, really. Oh, well, Xenoblade also. It's like 70 hours before you beat the actual game. That's if you're not side questing anything.
I think my total time in Persona 5, like the first time was 100 hours. And the second time was like 40, and the third time was like 20. I didn't finish the third time yet, but...
So you're getting near speedrun levels of Persona 5, because the world record is something like 15 hours right now.
Well,
yes, I just admitted to following the speedrunning of a JRPG. Come at me, bros.
I mean, it's easy to do when you have you can pull out any persona and you can power level your way instantly through that game at certain
Oh no
points.
no! The speed run, the speed run in question is a fresh file of the game.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
I mean, yeah, you could if you don't want to really explore anybody's.
Well, yeah, no,
Like,
I get what you're saying, but
yeah,
I'm not saying go speed run the game as your first run through. I'm just saying that's actually pretty impressive that you're down near 20 hours.
But I'm playing
the game.
A new game plus. That's why.
Oh, okay, my bad.
Okay.
Because
so
a lot of your crap carries over.
Got a little bit off track there. That's my fault. I apologize.
All right, so that's it. The list is final. Well, I'm about to run down it again, but we will have. Now I get to tell the rest of the staff that's not on this panel here what the final list is, and maybe we'll get some things going for Christmas. If not, this will get done. We will have several. It will probably get broken up into either 5 separate articles or at least 2, and we'll have something come out every day or every other day with our final 25 with blurbs and other pretty stuff in the actual article. But you guys just heard our debate. That is our game of the year is Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But the whole list goes like this. Evil Within 2, which is multi-platform. SteamWorld Dig multi-platform as well. Night in the Woods is PS4 and Xbox One. Mario Rabbids Switch. Cuphead Xbox One only. Tekken 7 multi-platform. Golf Story is Switch. Uncharted Lost Legacy is PS4 only. Injustice 2 multi-platform. Tom Clancy Ghost Recon. Wildlands, Neo, RE7 are all Xbox One and PS4 and PC also. But PUBG just got that Xbox One version that led to the official release, so now we can stop having the argument about whether an early access game should be up for Game of the Year or not. Xenoblade 2, Hellblade, Senua's Sacrifice, South Park Fractured Butthole, Assassin's Creed Origins at 9, Yakuza 0, 8, Wolfenstein 2 at 7, Divinity Original Sin 2 at 6, Nier Automata 5, Horizon Zero Dawn 4, Mario Odyssey at 3, Persona 5 at 2, and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is our game of the year. Hey, that's a pretty... Look, the fact that we had... Now, some of those, you can question about whether they should be on there at all or whatever, but the fact that we almost made a top 50 with just people naming games that they enjoyed this year tells you it's a damn great year for video games, all in all.
I still say, never mind. I was about to make a joke and then I realized I don't think that game came out this year.
What?
Just forget it. Never mind.
Well, no, hold on.
Very quickly.
What you got to say the game so we can laugh at you or not.
I was going to make a joke about whatever the latest Atelier game was.
Oh,
then I realized
they always have one every year. Yeah, they have one.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what game it was, and then
I think
the
it's
Atelier game.
Fyrus or whatever.
Yeah, it was Fyrus. Yeah.
They already have one coming out next year, and it's coming to Switch too. So.
Yeah. But
I remember enjoying those on the PS2 when they were actual RPGs. Now that they're like weird ass like crafting games, I don't care about them.
I've been playing the PS3 trilogy lately, and I kind of enjoyed it. Or, excuse me, the first PS3 trilogy, because there was actually 6 Atelier games on the PS3.
That's ridiculous.
But
I think I have 3 of them.
Yeah, but I like them. I like them both ways. I enjoyed the Iris games, which were the ones on the PS2, Manakami and whatnot. And boy, this is a weird conversation to be having about games in 2017 by talking about games that were 2007.
We should
My
talk
bad.
about the Arch and Elico games too while we're at it.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You did. Thank you for saying that before I did, and further embarrassing myself.
Anyway, before we keep talking about games that are like on the PS2.
Hey, Koga came out on the PS3. I mean, that's at least that's only one generation behind now.
But All right. I mean, so you can, Wes talked about the last review he did of Wolfenstein 2. You can go read his thoughts on that. Mark has like 3 reviews that are out right now, and then I don't know how many in the can that I still have to get to because whatever. There was bad things that happened to me during the year. Whatever.
Yeah.
The 2018
Honestly,
new.
a lot of the staff had pretty shitty 2017.
Yeah. 2018, the new year for everything, for the site, for us, for everybody. But anyway, look, I think we can all agree, right? 2017 was a damn great year for video games. 2018 has a lot to live up to. Now, and Mark and I were going over some of these games that are coming out. I don't know that I have this huge list of games that I'm totally excited for right now, but yeah.
Well, it'll be kind of interesting to see because I think a lot of devs are kind of keeping things close to the chest right now in regards to release dates because a lot of the stuff that's coming that has a 2018 release window, that's literally all we have for them. Like, just throwing off top of my head, Sony, like God of War, Spider-Man, Days Gone, even though I'm not particularly a fan of Days Gone.
I still think Days Gone's going to not come out this year. Or next year, whatever.
Yeah, technically next year, yeah.
That's the zombie water one, right?
Days Gone is
the
one that debuted in 2016 and everybody thought was The Last of Us 2 before The Last of Us 2 got officially announced. And then they got disappointed by generic biker dude. And then it kind of had a showing last year that was just kind of like, well, that's certainly a game that exists.
They redeemed it because I thought it was going to be like Dead Rising, but outside. And then when they showed the gameplay at E3 this year, I was kind of like, oh, okay, this game a little bit different. Yeah. But yeah, I know I'm waiting for Ni no Kuni 2. That's about the first game that's on my list right now. And The City as well. That's going to come out pretty soon. Here in January. But all right, go ahead.
No, I was sitting there. I'm sitting here, and apart from basically what all we just said, I'm not too sure about anything that's got a solid 2018. Like about the only game I am 100% looking forward to at the moment. I've already mentioned it, Last of Us Part 2. And I'm still holding out hope that maybe it'll be like really late next year. That'd be cool.
I will be shocked if that game comes out 2018. Oh no, right, Mark? Wouldn't you be shocked if that game comes out that year?
Last of Us 2. I don't think it's hitting next. I don't think it's hitting 2018.
You think it hits in 2018, Daniel?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well,
hope springs eternal. Damn it.
Right? Yeah. Wes can be a dreamer. It's okay.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hope springs eternal unless you are actually living in the world of The Last of Us, in which case you're pretty much fucked.
That's actually pretty damn true. But all right. So again, this has been our top 25 games of 2017 discussion. Debate. You can hit us up on anywhere you find podcasts, including our W2 Network channel on YouTube, where you can leave comments there as well. We're also on FullOnMania.com and their game zone, on Last Word on Life and that section there as well of their website, and of course W2Net.com, the official source for video games to the max, and where you can get thoughts from all these guys. Be sure to check out Wes on his Twitch channel. Still at Backlog Busting?
No, I recently changed it to West Side Vandal because theater puns are always amazing. But yeah, me and Randy basically, it's basically the Backlog Busting project, except it's just us having fun. So
hey, that's what's important.
Yeah,
have fun with what you're doing. So hopefully 2018 gives us a lot to talk about. 2017 sure has. And enjoy what's left of it. Enjoy your Christmas and your holidays, everybody, here. Hopefully, you have a great time with your family. I know I'm waiting to have my daughter's eyes light up with all the gifts that she's gonna get to see in like 3 days. So, hey, but all right. Until the next time that Mark and I are with you here, see you later, everybody.
Later.
See you.
The following podcast is a W2M Network original production. Visit W2Mnet.com for all of our other great podcasts, plus news, reviews, articles, and opinions from the worlds of wrestling, video games, football, and entertainment.